Hello, my friends. If you've ever felt the call to gather women in circle, then you are not alone. There is something alive that awakens when women come together in circle, a kind of medicine, a remembering, a transformation that just can't happen in regular social gathering. And so in this video, I'm going to share the energetics of sacred facilitation that are really the foundation for leading women's circles that are truly transformational. Spaces where women feel seen, held, and empowered to remember their own wisdom. So hello and welcome. I'm Sara Southerland, a sacred women's circle facilitator and teacher, a spiritual life coach, and sound healing practitioner. And it's been a joy to get to hold sacred women's circles for many years now. I've witnessed firsthand how powerful they can be, and that when we gather in circle, something shifts. We heal, we break through old patterns, and we rise together. When I first started facilitating, I knew in my bones that it was a calling, but I had to learn how to hold space in a way that was brave and sacred, and also sustainable for my energy as an empath. And that's why I created Woven, Sacred Women's Circle Facilitator Training Program, so you don't have to figure it out all alone and can create your own sacred women's circles that are both beautiful and transformative. So the first energetic pillar to holding transformational circles is presence. As a facilitator, this is your currency. It's not about having all the answers or being an expert. It's about showing up fully, about grounding in your own energy so that we can hold a brave and potent space so everyone else can show up fully too. Holding space is a practice, and I really find it's about attuning your own energy to the energy in the room. Opening what I call your aperture to really see and hold the space and hear what beyond what's being spoken. So we can walk beside the circle and really just allow what is arising to do so. Circle is also a non-hierarchical space. As a facilitator, of course, there's some subtle power dynamics, but you are not meant to be a guru. You are rooted, you are attuned, a present spaceholder. And so in this way, circle invites us to sort of unlearn these old ways of leading from the top down. And instead, we lead from beside and from within. And the second pillar is clear intention. I always say that setting a clear intention gives the energy a place to go. And so every circle has a heartbeat, and this is the guiding intention. This is the energy that you invite in, the reason that you gather, and the medicine that you want the circle to carry. The intention doesn't have to be complicated. It might be connection, healing, navigating the in-between, or some sort of specific ritual. But what does matter is that you bring it into the circle clearly from start to finish. And so before creating a gathering, I like to ask myself, and you might ask yourself, what is the medicine that I want this circle to carry? What is the energy that I want the space to hold? Or how do I want the women to feel as they leave the circle today? When our intention is clear, the circle comes alive and the energy flows more naturally. So the third energetic pillar is creating a strong container and structure. And I could speak for hours about this topic alone, but for today, I'll say transformational circles have a rhythm. And depending on your intention, the container that you choose will need to hold that intention and hold the circle safely and bravely. This could be a simple opening, time for the women to share, journaling, ritual grounding practices, but creating a solid structure and container specifically for your intention is key. Because a well-facilitated circle where people know what to expect, where each woman has space held for them, can really allow the medicine and the energy of the circle to flow freely. And just knowing this, like there's so many different kinds of circle. Because circle is this ancient sacred technology that's been used across cultures, right? It's a place where we can listen and witness and grieve and celebrate. It's a place where we can dream and remember. And so the structure and the container will look a little different depending on what the intention is and what the energy is that you hope to bring to the spaces that you hold. And pillar 4 is attunement. Your energy as the facilitator is everything. And this is something that I see, often in facilitators that I wish that we would have more of these spaces to talk about, like the work that we need to do to hold space for others. And it's not about perfection. But as a facilitator, just knowing that you are both the anchor and also the mirror for the circle, holding the space, reflecting each woman's wisdom back to her. And this is the heart of transformational facilitation. And attuning to this begins with you. Before we guide others, we must learn to hold space for ourselves. What does it mean to be a space holder for ourselves? Because the quality of the space that you hold begins with you and your inner relationship. And so whether this looks like having a regular or strong spiritual practice, connecting with nature or the unseen, creating moments of sacred space or ritual in our own lives, our own attunement actually expands our capacity to hold space for others. And this is a step that we cannot skip. And again, it's not about being perfect or having it all figured out. We are human. We are on the path. We are walking beside. But rather so we can hold space in integrity. And when we do this work, it becomes this catalyst for bringing more aliveness and transformation to our circle because it's felt. And so these, my friends, are some of the core energetics of sacred facilitation. There's so many more I have to share with you, but I'm curious if there's one that resonated with you today. And next week, join me back here for part 2, 5 Foundations to Master for Transformative Circles, where I'll dive a little bit more into the structure and practical application of creating and leading your own sacred circles. And if you feel called to step fully into this work, to lead circles that truly transform women's lives, I'd love to invite you into Woven, my Sacred Women's Circle Facilitator training. We start in January, and it's a potent space to step into your gifts, to weave your own intuitive knowing with the sacred structure of holding space for women in this time. It's so needed. I am offering YouTube subscribers $100 off, and we start in January. There's a link below that you can learn more and join us. Feel free to reach out with any questions. Thanks so much for watching this video, my friends. If this video resonated, I'd love to hear what you thought. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might be called to lead their own women's circle too. The world needs more spaces like these. I look forward to seeing you next week for part 2. Until then, take good care. Bye for now.